insane day after what was done yesterday. Divine Sorcerer, please introduce all of the things.
All right. Well, as everybody knows, I do my Oracle Tarot share in the morning, and then I had gotten a new deck, a new Aleister Crowley Thoth deck, and when I did my tarot share or my Oracle reading, it left me know right away from the morning, like because I get up every morning, it left me know right away that there was going to be a conscious connection, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I didn't read too much into it. But then, as I tell you guys, all the time, just pay attention to things that happen throughout the day. It's not necessarily means, that's going to happen. In this case, was I wrong? But, to just pay attention to what goes on, because my reading that morning told me about the conscious connection I was going to have later on in that day. So I go ahead in this video and I include the tarot reading, and then I include the witchboard session. But there's more after that. There is I do the tarot, I do the witchboard, and then I do how to properly interview your deck. That way you know who you're working with, what you're working with, what it's going to serve you with. Just for those out there that aren't familiar with working with tarot. And then I also did, after that, I woke up this morning feeling pretty good about the information and stuff we got from the witchboard the day before, and did a contact your spirit guide through the tarot cards. And that in itself was pretty interesting. So I added that as well. So it is a little lengthy. It's like an hour and 10-ish minutes, somewhere around there. But it goes through that whole day, and it shows you all the things that became of that day, like how it went in order according to the very first reading that morning. So
outstanding, bro. Outstanding. Yesterday was so fun. Yesterday was so fun. So let's get this thing rolled up.
Right. Hold on, let me close some tabs here, because I'm like you. I've got 12, 13.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like ADD moment. It's like, ooh, information. It's like, no.
If you properly research, you're going to have like 80 tabs open, because you've got, you're piecing things together, because that's the way it is. They're all sprawled out in different sections. So you've got to take them and collect them, and that's how you find the truth.
Yeah, it is. And it really does take a few good books in a library to be able to decode information once you be able to get through this stuff. And we'll talk more out of that in, as the video progresses and afterwards. But
right.
Yeah, like,
all right,
this is the stuff that it's there's the Hermetic axiom: to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent, right? The time where keeping silent isn't an option anymore. Keeping quiet about certain information puts more people in danger than it does to protect them.
Well, it's like this. And this was the conclusion I came to when I came back into paganism. They're not burning witches at the stake anymore. This is a free country. We have, not just Christian and Catholic and the main religions, but it's all religion they have respect for. So beings how, us mystics live, us sorcerers, it's time to show people that, look, this is what they did back then. It's very real, and you can do it today. You can incorporate it into your life and walk your path out, molding it the way our ancestors did.
Yeah.
It's only man that says, hey, that stuff's evil, because according to this book that they needed to control you for power. You know what I mean? Like it all goes back to that. And so people miss out on the genuine treasures that were given to us way back when. You know what I mean? And when you understand that, and you get these treasures, and you can see these synchronicities and how things come together, and it's a good feeling. Like, to know that, not only do your ancestors walk behind you or beside you, but that you have divine entities that communicate and guide you. Like even when I did my rite of transformation, I told you on the third day, the third gate was equated with who? Ishtar.
And I know.
and I know who was guiding me through that. Well, I have no doubts that it was none other than Anina. The cards told me that. I have no reason to doubt that. Same thing in this case. I asked questions through the witchboard as I properly opened it and did the thing, and I called forth a divine being, not just an entity or a malevolent entity, but this time it surprised me. It went in reverse and really fucking threw me for a loop.
But yet it's one of those celestial intelligences, is like what we were doing and what we were tapping into, you over there, me over here, because we're thousands of miles apart. But by sharing this information, we're able to synchronize this information and cause way crazier shit to happen.
Right.
So let's do this thing.
All righty. Welcome to those on my channel. I am now in chat, so if you send me a message, I'll be able to see it. All right, here we go. This is the cards tell of divine contact before it happens and contact after. And I will also upload this to the YouTube channel, as well as the website. That way it's out there. All right. Hello, brothers and sisters, friends and family, boys and girls. I'm not sure how far this will go. This is shuffle number 2. It's like 8:39 o'clock. All right. This. Three. All right. Some coffee. My nice little academy mug.
I love it.
Not heated up yet. All right, here we go. I come to consult the cards to show me the way, how my day may be. This is my will. Comes off. And we will keep them right here in case it says to point. I come to consult the cards to show me the way and how my day may be. This is my will. Comes out to me. Whoa. New card, man. They like fly all over the place. Okay. And my oracle card for today is, this card keeps coming up. Conscious connections. Conscious connections. All right, and so we will read what that is again. I've only read it like 3 times this week, but we'll read it again. 35. 35, 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 is the sign of infinity. All right. It's forever. 35. All right. Conscious connections. There is a call for more intimacy in your immediate relationships. There is an opening for heart-to-heart communication that can salvage and restore a broken relationship or friendship. If you are willing to honor your differences and look to what unites you, sometimes it is hard to bear the difference between one another. One person may be willing to live life in high definition, whilst another may prefer to live it more vicariously until they have the confidence to step into the center stage of their own life story. We are not here to judge each other, just to love, to be loved, and to let go of those that cannot accept us as we open up to those who can. This oracle brings guidance for you to trust in the sanctity of the connections in your life. If you have asked to experience a more sacred connection with people who truly get you and want to play life with you, rather than at odds with you or against you, then this oracle is confirmation that this manifestation is on its way to you now. It may or may not be obvious at first, but kindred spirits are going to enter your life to help you connect with your deeper feelings and creativity. They will give wings to your inspirational ideas and big dreams. If you have been asking for healing in your current friendships or other immediate relationships, know that this can happen through your willingness to express your true feelings. And allow the situation to either fall apart or come together according to the greater workings of life. Sometimes webs that have joined people together are broken, and that is appropriate, as people may outgrow what once held them together. Sometimes the ties that bind us together are so strong that they are able to withstand a great deal of pressure and still remain intact. The webs of connection between us will sever or sustain, based on the higher wisdom of life itself. Either way, healing happens in the resolution of our feelings, and we are once again able to feel free, forgive, and be ready to move on to the next stage of relating either with a person who has been in connection with us for a time or with someone new. This oracle asks you to remain open to healing connections and to allow people to be close to you. Trust in the process that draws people in and out of your life. Resist nothing and seek wisdom in all. 35, number 8, infinity, conscious connection. All right, and our tarot card. My tarot card. The tarot card. That's a good idea. I feel better. All right. Is that's a fucking badass thing. The 5 of Pentacles, or dumbass, read your maneuver. No, son of a bitch. Or 4 of Pentacles. I think that's good. There you go. I only see 4 of Pentacles. So 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles. I hate Roman numeral number, but here we go. 4. That's 4. So 4. 4 of Pentacles. That's. I don't often get Pentacles. I usually get cups or swords. Yeah. Maybe sometimes wands. All right. So in the book, the Four of Pentacles. All right, so the Four of Pentacles, the Crow of the Four of Pentacles has accumulated wealth and is financially secure. She has created a comfortable life. However, the fear of losing it all keeps her from enjoying her riches. Focused on feelings of scarcity and lack, this bird is so concerned with holding her possessions tightly that she is unable to fly. The Four of Pentacles denotes the inability to feel secure despite having accumulated wealth. This crow's warning: obsessing on what you may lose will prevent you from experiencing joy in what you may have. Okay. Both sides. The Four of Pentacles in the regular tarot deck is, in general, it can indicate that you are holding on to people, possessions, situations, or past issues. It can be an indication that there are deep-seated issues affecting you that you need to process and let go of. The Minor Arcana card can indicate that you may be trying very hard to cling onto the people or possessions that give you a sense of security. You may be holding onto things in an unhealthy, possessive, controlling, or toxic way, or someone may be holding on to you in such a manner. It can indicate that you need to establish your boundaries or respect the boundaries of other people. The Four of Pentacles can also indicate a lack of openness, blocking or obstructing progress, keeping to yourself, or a sense of isolation. It can represent wealth, greed, materialism, and penny pinching. Well, I'm not wealthy, so it's not wealth. I'm not greedy, because I'm good for others before I do for myself. I'm not materialistic because I can give a fuck about anything. Can't take it with me when you go anyway. Penny pinching? No. Maybe I try to save $1 or $2 when I can, but who doesn't? So, all right. Conscious connections and deep-seated issues. Work on conscious connections. Very, very interesting. All right, guys. This is the Divine Sorcerer with the Tarot Oracle reading. Again, bam. And it's just a guide, like I said. Just mentally know that to work on the conscious connections and not to be materialistic, not to pinch pennies, not to get wrapped up in wealth and greed, which I really don't think I care less. All right, guys. Have a blessed day. For those that are going into witchcraft, for those that don't do this, I found this one every deck that I've gotten so far. I just received my Thoth tarot deck by Aleister Crowley. I don't know. Some beautiful deck. As you know, about a week and a half ago, I received my Pro tarot deck. But with every tarot deck, I sage it and clean it. And then I go to my book of tarots. Right? I call it my book of tarots. It's got all kinds of tarot spreads. Right? So I look in here. I'm looking for one in particular, and I'll keep you here with me. This is a video I will probably use for the Brotherhood. Decision Spirit of our house. Tree of protection. The wolf in me. Dearly departed. There we go. Good old interview your deck spread. Okay. Interview your deck. Get to know. I know it's bright right now. I'm having a hard time. All right. That's a little better. All right. So get to know your deck. Because you're going to be working with it. So you're going to want to know cards. You're going to want to know your cards. And more than just looking at the book, you're going to want to be able to look at the card and read the card. But it starts out with learning to read the cards in the book so you know what the card is. A little bit of room here on my junky desk. And we shuffle cards, of course. We're going to see me shuffle cards. Bring it over this way. You know what I mean? I do everything in threes. And three. And then you lay out your spread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is the spread. I'm going to kind of deck over here. And this is what your spread's going to look like. All right. This should actually probably be up here a little bit more. But basic blue tarot spread. All right. This is interviewing your deck, right? And so our first card, going by the book. Okay. Please introduce yourself. So it's now going to introduce itself to you. I know it's supposed to be mod the channel, but they're going to there's like 5 other mods in there, so they'll be fine. Right. Interviewing your deck, and it is please introduce yourself. The compass. The compass.
It's actually, I think, the 4 of Wands. I had it
I'm
wrong.
going to start off this by saying when I first decided to get serious about reading tarot and oracle and all that other stuff, my main deck was going to be the Crow Tarot deck. I love that deck. The art in that deck is just gorgeous. It's awesome. But after just a little bit of time playing with this deck, I feel drawn to it. Like, I feel an energy of this deck. Now, I just, as you see, sat down to interview this deck. And it's introducing itself as my compass. You guys paying attention to this? You can't make this stuff up, guys. This is not, you can't do it. Right? Just hold on a second. And so the compass in the book means, and I don't know because this is like a really complicated book.
It really is.
Wands, cups, swords, discs.
Wow, this is a really complicated book. What was it? Oh, it's completion. Completion. Okay, not compass, but completion. Whatever. All right, let's look for completion. Completion. So, that's it. Oh no, this is a wands. Okay, this is Four of Wands. Wow, this is a really, this is a really fucked up deck. Okay, Four of Wands means completion. Four means completion. Maybe. I don't know. Let's look at this. Four of Wands. Okay. Four. That makes a lot more sense. Four of Wands. Four of Wands is completion. Chest in the suit of fire, Venus and Aries. The wands are headed by the ram, sacred to Aries, and at the other end, the doves of Venus. The original will of the two has been transmitted through the three and is now built into a solid system of order, law, and government. Very interesting. Okay. So that's its introduction. Okay. All right. Tell me more.
Hit it again.
He's like a sea. All right. Anyway, after that nasty hit. Your strength as a deck. Oh, that's looking good.
That's the funny looking full card.
Wow, that's bad. All right, so the Fool. The Fool. Hold on, Mr. Brian. Find Fool card. Fool is air or vacuum or pursuing innocence. He holds the male element of fire and the female element of water, the sword of air and the disc of earth. He is the green man of spring and the great fool of the Celts, Delua and Percival. He is also Zeus, Eratosthenes, Dionysius, Zargus, Bacchus, Dephus, and Baphomet. Bam. Your strength as a deck. Okay. Anyway. That just excited me. Anyway. Your limitations as a deck. 3. Your limitations as a deck. Come on, why you gotta mess the other cards up? Oh. Jack, good. The sun. The sun. Ooh. Now, I was just in here like 5 seconds ago, and I know I've seen that. Emperor. Magician, priestess, emperor. Oh, there's a page here. Well, that makes sense. But I don't have any. Plus. Hanged man, where did that go? Temperance. Yep, the tower, the star, the moon. Ah, the sun. Okay, I know I saw it. This card represents the Lord of the New Ion, the Lord of light, liberty, and love, and the complete emancipation of the human race. The green mounted represents the fertile earth. But the presence of a wall shows that the new eon does not mean the absence of control. The twin children are represented as dancing outside the wall because they typify the new stage of human history and the stage of complete freedom from the restrictions imposed by such ideas as sin and death. So that's its limitations as a deck. Ponder on that. I'm in, right. All right. So that's its limitations. That's yeah. Sorry guys, it's taking so long. I fuck around, especially when like I broke the nail. Anyway, what can I learn from you? Cool. Okay, so what can I learn? What can I learn from you? Please do tell. The universe. What can I learn from it? The universe. See, guys, you can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you, you just cannot. Who sits down to record how to interview their deck, and it's just me. You cannot. Nope. All right, so let's look at the universe. I just seen it like 10 minutes ago. Come on. Oh, that's bullshit. No, but I saw it here just a second ago. Devil, tower, star, moon. Stuff, the universe right here. Okay, so again, this is what can I learn from you? This card is attributed to the letter Tau, the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, together with the first card, the Fool, which was card 2. Your strength as a deck. The word Atah is spelled meaning essence. Thus, all reality is comprised in a series of which these 2 cards are the beginning and the end. The letter Tau symbolizes a fourfold extension applicable to the transcendence of space and time by a continually self-compensating change. The letter is further attributed to Saturn, the slowest of the planets, and on that account associated with the element of Earth. Saturn is the old god, the god of fertility. The presence of the letter tau upon the tree of life indicates a state of equilibrium between change and stability. The glyph on the card the glyph on the card therefore symbolizes the completion of the great work. The image of the universe is a maiden, the final letter of the tetragrammaton. She is represented as dancing with the great spirit spiral forming serpent or sun. She is surrounded by 10 symbols. About her is an ellipse composed of 72 circles. For the quinaries of the zodiac, at the corners of the card are 4 cherubim showing the established universe. In the center of the wheel of life, illuminating the form of the tree of life, which is visible only to those of pure heart. On the lower part of the card is the late J.W.N. Sullivan Wendell's known map of the chemical elements. Sorry.
I'm loving this, man.
That is,
So much.
What can I learn from it? And I already learned about Christianity, cherubim, Enoch, astrology, King Solomon, the Kabbalah. So it's right on point. It's on key. This is what I'm going to learn from this deck. All right. And now, what is the best way to work with you? So, what is the best way to work with you? We can't get any straightforwarder than that. I mean, works. Works. So that's the three of discs, which is works. So we go to discs. Let's see what discs is. 3 of discs. It's 8. We need 3. 3 of discs is work. Banah in the element of Earth, Mars, and Capricornius. The card represents a pyramid viewed from above. The base is formed of 3 wheels, which typify Mercury, sulfur, and salt, Sattva, Regis, and Tamas, Alpha, Shin, and Mem. This means the material establishments of the idea of the universe. Again, that was what is the best way to work with this deck. For me, work with this deck is just that. Shin, Aleph Shin Mem. Hashem. I'm right. Thank you. 3s. See, everything is 3s, guys. Ugh. All right, and so the last question, the very last card, is the outcome of our relationship. Okay, so what is the outcome of our relationship? I don't feel so good about that. The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, or Dying God. The posture of the drowned or hanged man is of the greatest significance. The legs are crossed so that the right leg forms a right angle with the left leg, and the arms are out. The arms are stretched out at an angle of 60 degrees, so as to form an equivalent triangle or an equilateral triangle. This gives the symbol of the triangle surmounted by a cross, which represents the descent of the light into darkness in order to redeem it. The whole idea of sacrifice is a misconception of nature, and the element of water to which the card is attributed is the element of illusion. All right, guys. And so, I mean, I will look deeper into this. Terrence Privet, as you just seen, this is the correct way to, when you first get your tarot deck, you do what? You sage it. Bless it. Sage it and bless it. And then what do? You interview your deck. Sage it again and start working with it. All right, and I will see you on the next video. So then, this has been the Divine Sorcerer and my reading of interviewing my new thought deck. All right, you guys, I'm getting ready to do some witchcraft. Anyway, we are working with the witchboard and crystal, and here we go. All right.
I'm loving this.
Right. Do I put my hands over it or anything?
You can. Again, you want to open the gates. You know how to open the gates?
Yes.
So proceed to open the gates and then use out.
Here we go, brother. Come forth from the hidden world by the light that burns in the darkness. I call forth the spirits from the hidden world, through the water, through the fire, through the earth, through the air. Come forth and be manifest. Speak through stone and movement as I require, as I ask you with questions of desire.
Oh, wait till I get the pencil.
There was that little flash.
Wait till I got the pendulum. Wait till I have the pendulum and swing it. You'll see it. Jim Beggar hacking.
Okay. What do you want me to do now? I got the pendulum.
Put it over the top. Do you get a spirit present?
Do you want me to remove the water and the crystal?
No, I want you to keep it there. And I want you to do the witchboard over it.
Okay, so you want me over the crystal.
There we go, right here.
Fucking this.
I see.
Right.
Use the water as an amplifier for the vibrations of the crystal.
Gotcha. Crystal to crystal. All right. All right, so the gate is open. Come forward and speak with me.
Ah,
Right there.
ha, ha. Replay that. Replay that. Replay that, please.
Can't say for certain, but it was kind of funny. It showed up right as I said, come forward.
What do you want me to do? I got the pendulum.
Put it over the top. Do you get a spirit present?
Do you want me to remove the water and the crystal?
No, I want you to keep it there. And I want you to do the
must have
witchboard
been
over it.
stoned.
Okay, so you want me over the crystal. Gotcha. I see.
There we go.
Right.
Use the water as an amplifier for the vibrations of the crystal.
Gotcha. Crystal to crystal. All right. All right, so the gate is open. Come forward and speak with me.
Ah, there it is. Clear as fucking day.
Maybe.
Didn't come out the other side of my hand.
Are you male?
No, it didn't.
Were you, man?
Were you male? Maybe. Why is it always maybe? Were you female? Maybe. Were you here before?
Did you live a rightfully old age? No. They didn't live an old age. Any other questions? Oh,
You see the
bunch-
chat?
Yep, I'm seeing the chat. Hold on. Stay focused on the crystal. Okay. Do you have a message from the other side? Yes. Okay, thank you. Is it one of blessing? Yes. Okay, thank you. Is it one of warning? No. Is it just you in singular here? No. Are you more than 5? No. Are you more than 10? Yes.
Keep going. Go to 15.
Are you more than 15? Yes. Are you more than 20? Yes. And I even stopped the gem. I hit the other gem and it started right back up into yes. Oh, you can't see, can you?
So I can't see. So you're trying to find out the age of the entity. So keep going until you get a no.
Are you more than 25? Yes. Are you more than 30? Yes. Are you more than 35? No. You're not more than 35. Okay, stop. You're hitting the crystal.
Are you 34?
Are you 30? I didn't even have to ask it. It heard you. It said no.
Are you 33?
No.
Are you 32?
Yes.
Thank you for responding, Spirit.
Thank you for responding, Spirit. 32.
Do you protect Mike?
Do you protect me? Yes.
Good. Were you an ancestor?
Were you an ancestor? Strong yes.
Were you on my mother's side?
Were you on my mother's side? Circle. No,
Were you on my father's side?
wasn't. It's going to no. When you asked about if it was on my mother's, it kind of slowed down, went in circles, and then started going to no. And now it's swinging no. Were you on my father's side? Yes.
Okay. So you have a patrilineal protective spirit. It's 32 years old.
And the thing is, I don't know my father. I don't really know him. Like I met him one time.
Cool. Did your name begin with an A?
No,
Did your name begin with a B?
no,
Did your name begin with a C?
yes,
Does the second letter of your name begin with A?
no,
Does the second letter of your name begin with B?
no,
Does the second letter of your name begin with C?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with D?
no,
Does the second letter of your name begin with E?
yes,
Does the third letter of your name begin with A?
no,
Does the second letter of your, or the third letter of your name begin with B?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with C?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with D?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with E?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with F?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with G?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with H?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with I?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with J?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with K?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with L?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with M?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with N?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with O?
nope,
Does the third letter of your name begin with P?
still swinging no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with Q?
no,
Does the third letter of your name begin with R?
yes,
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with A?
no,
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with B?
no,
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with C?
no,
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with D?
no,
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with E?
no,
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with F?
no,
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with G?
It's a strong
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with H?
man. No.
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with I?
No.
Does the fourth letter of your name begin with J?
Nope.
Does the fourth letter of your name K?
Nope.
Is the fourth letter of your name L?
Nope.
Is the fourth letter of your name M?
Nope.
Is the fourth letter of your name N?
Yep.
Are there any more letters in your name that we need to be aware of?
No.
Check the chat.
Whoops. Good morning, everyone, brothers and sisters. And all right. You wake up here, man. It's just early. It's just too fucking early. Oh, I can change time. Okay. Good. That wasn't bad. All right. So we are going to do. Yesterday, you seen me do a interview the deck. Because, as I said, whenever you get a new deck, always interview it. Always find out what the deck is, how it's going to help you, what its limitations are, things like that. Most of you people will be like, yeah, interview your deck. When you create, us spiritual people know that the cards talk to us. And by interviewing our deck and getting to know our deck, we can receive some very enlightened messages. And I will show you a video of yesterday's happenings that all confirm that messages come from the higher powers through divination of not just cards. You have your pendulums, you have your witch boards, you have your stones. You have all kinds of ways to communicate with the higher powers. And not just the higher powers, but any entity in the aether realm. All right, so we are going to do spirit guide contact, okay? Because we know from yesterday that I am being guided, not just by the divine, but also by other deities as well. A couple deities I ran across on this path. But yesterday was a very good day. I got to start out with a tarot oracle reading, which confirmed, or which told me, I should say, that I would be having spirit communications. The card for yesterday was conscious connections. I didn't know how true that would be at the beginning of the day. I found out halfway through the day. And so it was a very exciting day yesterday because I got to talk to the angel of Netzach, which those in Kabbalah know that is the beginning of the Pillar of Mercy. It is actually the Chariot card. And what I'm looking at, guys, so you understand, this is my chart that I have. It's the Tree of Life in Kabbalah.
but it tells you like this is the one I contacted yesterday. Netza. It's an embrace. Okay. It's part of the Va or the Law, which is Yetzirah, formative world, mental plane. And so it was the seventh angel or something like that. I don't know. It had to do with seventh, but it was a very high angel. I got a name. The name was quite intriguing, but it did tell me who it was, where it's from, and who it is. It was very, very awesome. But I will be bringing that out in a separate video because they're like parts. So today we're going to do spirit guide contact. Again, my little book tears. These are all spreads. People that are practicing that should probably do that. Write down, get a book and write down spreads. Start practicing with them if you're wanting to learn the cards. Oh, how much fun they are. Let me tell you, I've had so much fun in the last 9 months. And I'm actually looking forward to transferring over to the Witch board. Not the Ouija board, I've played with many of them. The Witch board, however, is fascinating to me. The pendulum, the Witch board, the answers, the way you do it, it's just like a verbal Ouija board. Basically. All right. So let's lay our cards out. Check one more time. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Coffee's cold. All right. So we have our tarot spread laid out on this messy ass desk. Okay. That's what the tarot spread should look like. These are the questions. You probably can't read my writing, but yeah, you guys know what's going on. And so we're going to do the first card in the spread of spirit guide contact. I just love these cards. Again, we're using the cloth, Alice Crowley cloth tarot deck. That's what the cards look like. Very beautiful cards. The book, however, is small, and you may need glasses to read the tiny little print. All right, so the first card is, can you tell me something about yourself? So I come to talk to the cards. Can you please tell me something about yourself? Okay. We start off really, really well. The Sun card. So what's that mean, Mike? Well, let me tell you. The Sun card, of course, is a resh, as you see, the Hebrew letter up there on the bottom. That's resh. Basically, our English. This card shows the simple human approach to the mysteries. The sun is the Lord of life, liberty, light, and love. The children are dancing with butterfly wings. They are surrounded by the signs of the zodiac, showing the different houses through which the sun passes. And so that is telling me something about yourself. Okay, the sun, life, love, and liberty. Now remember, watch this. This is funny. This is funny.
Okay. Light, life, and light, life, liberty, and love, and the complete emancipation of the human. What the hell was that? What was that?
Huh? Oh, it wasn't there, brother. No, just watch. No.
I just love how accurate the cards are to the greater purpose of the great work that you're doing.
The
Right?
Lord of light,
Spot
life,
on.
liberty, and love, and the complete emancipation of the human race. The green mound represents the fertile earth, but the presence of a wall shows that the new aeon does not mean the absence of control. The twin children are represented as dancing outside the wall because they typify the new stage in human history, the stage of complete freedom from the restrictions imposed by such ideas as sin and death. Now that sounds right because that's what I read yesterday. I don't know where I was at, but I've seen the sun over here. Like, is there some special separate spot or something? That was weird. All right, well, that's not what I read the first time. I have to replay the video, but I read the sun, and that's not what was there. Okay. But I'm telling you, the words just changed on this fucking book. Okay. You see me read the sun, and it wasn't what I just read. I'm going to have to go back, but I'm pretty sure it's fucking weird already. All right. God, it's too fucking early. Might need more coffee. All right. What are your strengths, your abilities? Number 2, which is this card. Number 2, what are your strengths and your abilities? Okay. The 6 of Swords. The 6 of Swords equals science. Tifereth. In the suit of air. Mercury in Aquarius. Okay. The ornamental hilts of the swords from a hexagon in the card their points touch the outer petals of the red rose upon the golden cross of 6 squares, the perfect balance of mental and moral faculties. Hardly won and impossible to hold, interprets the idea of science. So again, question number 2, what are your strengths and abilities? Would be to interpret science. Help with science. Right there. All right, and next we have number 3. How are you specifically guiding me at this time? Okay. The Princess of Cups.
There's the female.
Mhm.
Cups, that's 1, 2 cups. The Princess of Cups. Earthy, heart of water, or its faculty of crystallization. Also, its power to give substance to idea, to support life, and to form a basis of chemical combination. She is represented as a dancing figure and has a crest of a swan with open wings. She carries a cup with a tortoise. The dolphin symbolizes the power of creation. Again, number 3, how are you specifically guiding me at this time? It is the earthy part of water, or its faculty of crystallization, also the power to give substance to an idea. Okay. Very interesting. I know my hair looks like shit. All right. Number 4. How can I better connect with you? Okay, so how can I better connect with you? Guys, you can't make this shit up. So. Four. How can I better connect with you? We got the Prince of Cups.
And there's the male,
Yep.
the wild.
So it's specifically guiding me at this time was the Princess of Cups. And how can I better connect with you is the Prince of Cups. So Prince of Cups, airy part, it's the airy part of water. Or it's elasticity. And volatile, and the energy of steam. Okay, now we're talking about chemical. All right. I see where you're going, Crowley. In this card, he is seated in a chariot. There's a chariot again. That's not a chariot card. Surrounded by clouds and drawn by an eagle who carries a lotus and a cup from which issues a spiral serpent. And that is how I can better connect with him. Very, very interesting. This is a interesting deck of cards, guys. All right, so number 4, how can I better connect with you? Was the Prince of Cups, which was the energy of steam. It's basically the energy, the chariot movement. Surrounded by clouds, drawn by an eagle, he carries a lotus and a cup from which issues the spiral serpent. All right, that's how it can better connect with you. All right, and number 5, what is the nature of our connectivity? Why are we working together? Great question. Number 5, again, what is the nature of our connectivity? Why are we working together?
Huh?
The Prince of Discs.
Yep.
Basically, I think King of Pentacles, but we're going to find out. Discs is back here. The Prince of Discs is the airy part of Earth, where the fluorescent and fructification of the element. He is seated in a chariot.
It's a chariot again.
There's a chariot again. He is seated in a chariot drawn by a bull. His helmet is crowned by a bull, and he holds a disc.
And there's Aries from the first part.
holds a disc resembling a globe and marked with mathematical symbols. In his other hand, he carries a scepter surmounted by a cross. The card symbolizes the function of bringing forth from the earth the vegetation, which is the substance of the spirit itself.
Cha-ching.
That is why we are working together again.
Lock on.
Nature is the substance.
He's marked with mathematical symbols, which is what I work with a lot. In his other hand, he carries a scepter surmounted by a cross. The card symbolizes the function of bringing forth from earth the vegetation, which is the substance of the spirit itself. And that's why we are working together. Well, that's a slippery little son of a bitch. All right, and so our last card in the Spirit Guide Contact. Get off me. Right there, it's trying to get me. What message do you have for me at this time? Okay. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords represents the fiery part of the air, wind, and storm. The violent power of motion applied to a manageable element. He is represented as a warrior with a helmet bearing a revolving wing, and mounted on a maddened steed. He carries a sword and a pointer. Okay, so what message do you have for me at this time? Basically, to keep being a warrior. He is represented as a warrior with a helmet bearing a revolving wing and mounted on a maddened steed. He carries a sword and a pointer. So that's the message at this time. I am a warrior. Everybody knows that. I am a leader, not a follower. I am a free thinker. All right, guys, and that is the Spirit Guide Contact. The book of Cat Spreads. Using Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot deck, which I absolutely love. This is the Divine Sorcerer with a reading. How to contact and get information from your spirit guide. It's as simple as reading the cards, guys. All right. I'm out. I will see you probably later today after I get the house a little clean and get my hair did. And I will see you later. Peace.
Absolutely outstanding, buddy.
Wait, what happened to my camera? Yo, I'm over here. AI. Hello.
It's just not.
Don't like me no more, man.
Right? Too much time being chill all up over there.
That's it.
Oh.
I don't know, man. I'm back down here, buddy. There we go. All right. So yeah, that's that's the cards foretelling about the conscious connection and what I ensued throughout the day. And this is what I tell people when I'm referring to using them as a guide. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen, but in some cases it does happen. Yeah, but you know, we got a name, we got information, and like, yeah, it made waking up this morning and doing that spirit contact quite fun.
That's good. That's good. I mean, yesterday it threw the same tarot card at you 3 times.
What was it, 4 wands?
It's like, here's the spirit, here's the thing, we're gonna go do this now. And so the name of that spirit, right? We'll go back to that for a minute. Where did I get where does that name exist, right?
Right.
This is where going through the books, this is where you need dictionaries of saints, of angels, of spirits. There are repositories of books, right? And they'll refer you back across different other books. So it becomes a rabbit hole, right? And so the one that I was using yesterday in order to figure out where that name was, because it sounded familiar, right? Not only is it, you know, the same name as the scientific institution that's over there exploring the particle accelerators and all those crazy things,
I was going
but
to say
it also, what?
we might want to let them know the name, because it was a long drawn out. The name was CERN. If nobody put it together, CERN was the name given. Okay, carry on.
I was trying to like, yeah, but
Okay.
yeah. So you've got this thing where you're pulling in through divination the name of a spirit, and you were able to get it. And this is how it's done: is you to get the names of the spirits and the angels and the intangible forces, right? You do divination. Is your name A? Is your name B? C? What? You go through the alphabet, however long it takes, you go through it, right? The only name we needed to know was that it was CERN, right? As a result of that, the energies that they're tapping with, or whatever that energy is, it's found in the 6th and 7th books of Moses. As I went through the Dictionary of Angels by Gustav Davidson, right? Cernael is the name of one of the angels of heaven. It's also the 7th angel of Netzach, which is the sphere of Venus, which again goes back to the sphere of Anina, the great gates of life. These are the things and the continuations of energies that you've been fucking around with for the last 9-10 months now. And after your rite of transformation, it's like getting you entrained with these energies. You're contacting the angels of the sphere of Venus, which is part of the life force of connecting to the sources. And you're doing it. And you're getting the response. You felt it. Shit. When we replayed that little light that goes bam into your hand, into the pendulum, like bam, there it was. Like, that's the shit, y'all. Like, this stuff works when it's done right. When the math works, it's undeniable. You know, you just have to take the time to set it the fuck up right. So if you've got things that you want to talk about with your spirit guides, you can do that. You shouldn't be afraid of doing that.
Right.
You should be afraid of what happens if you don't set it up correctly. But when you set it up correctly, you're dealing with angels. You're dealing with spirit guides that are benevolent. And no, you can't just go out there into the world, draw a circle on the ground, and hope everything for the best, unless you're connected to the energy.
Right.
You know, unless you know the name of the spirit of the earth, the air, the water, the fire, all these things, right? But it's the name that it gives you, so that it's the name you know it by when you call it as a friend. And that becomes the foundation for a much more robust practice, where these things they're not meant to be scary for the individual. But you do need to put certain things in place in your practice in order to be able to tap into spirits and angels from the 6th and 7th books of Moses, just by a matter of course. We tapped into that energy at the right hour of the right day, because that's when we decided to have that conversation. That type of effect can be had at any hour of any day. It was just nice that we got to have the spirit of Netzach come forth, right? And I backtracked, where does these energies come from? So I went online and I typed in, what is the meaning of the name CERN? And there was a decoding site that came up with every single letter of what those things were, right? Even more fun is the information that was possible as a result of that to understand was that its primary symbols, its primary correspondence, and this is where the synchronicities get to be so insane. And now I'm going to share screen. And I'm going to show what this stuff actually looks like. So with CERN, these are the letters and these are the names, right? Driven by spontaneity and inspiration. An aura of exuberance, living without regard to one's age. He was 32 years old whenever it turned into an angel, right?
Yep.
Subjective nature that relies upon the feelings, someone who's able to read easily into other people's feelings. As a spirit guide, that's perfect. And the same intensity with the letter 5, originality, testimony of someone who lives and breathes originality. Hello, Mike. If that's not you, I don't know what the fuck is. Right? And so we look at the cornerstone. We look at the capstones of these things. What is the hard sound of this? What is the soft sounds within it? You know? And as we go through and we're applying these things, this is what is the most significance about this. Okay? Lucky number was Sunday. Lucky weekday is Sunday. Right? We started the preparation for this in the hour of the sun.
Yeah, we did.
Yesterday was the first day of Sagittarius, which was the first day of December. So in the hour of the sun on the first day of December, the spirit came forth, which is the same foundation as you'll find in the books of Moses. Because that's a group series of spell work that's from the ancient world that describes what happens in each month. What is the astrological placement of each force and how does it relate and how do you use it? So the 6th and 7th books of Moses become a foundation for what we need to base ourselves on when we're dealing with things in the hours, because what we do in the hours matters. And there's an entire robust history of how to connect to these forces described in the ancient world in Jewish mysticism. It's the most complete, accurate record set of these things that we are dealing with. Even more specifically, you used Hebrew when you were creating the gate array as the foundation. So of course you're going to entrain the letters of light to a force of light.
Yeah. Open the way and be the guide is what's on that sigil. But it's in Hebrew. You're right.
And so when we're tapping into rabbinical magic, right? And this is why knowing what the foundation spells are made of, right? Using the Hebrew, you can look to Hebraic sources to figure out what is the spirit that you're conjuring. So if you're going to use Norse systems, you spell it in Norse. You spell it in ancient Celtic. You spell it in the ancient language, right? You're actually using the Hebrew words to create these constructs. So therefore it operates perfectly. It's not that you're transliterating using English characters and words that don't make the same arrangement.
Right.
You've done the arrangement. You're getting the divine forces. So this is how we get to tap into and trust that what we are up to with the letters of light and the gates of light and the gates of darkness and the gates of the sources in creation, as they manifest themselves through earth, through air, through fire, through water, and through the sources of all creation, we're able to interact with it.
Right. And it's fun.
It really is.
Surprising, but fun. I mean, like to be able to talk to that power, that energy, like it's inspiring.
And
Like I was told my whole life, witchcraft is bad, but you know what? Now that I'm doing witchcraft, I like
it. And that's what makes it so fun. I love it. I love seeing the joy on your face when you get to interact with these things, because it's like, holy shit. You mean the letters of light are actually connecting to the light forces of creation? Yes, absolutely they are.
Right.
You know, but it's not something that everybody gets to use. It's not something that everybody has access to because of the gatekeeping, personality, or because of whatever it is, and it becomes completely problematic in how they access that. But the way that you've approached this allows for that dedication of the spirits to come through, so that your actions and your labors prove your connectiveness to those spirits, so you are a conduit of those sources. Right. And so as a conduit, you're able to interact with it. And that's what a priest does. Right. And that's, categorically speaking, what's missing in a lot of religious traditions, is because they remove the mystery aspect of it. They just flat out obliterate it.
Yeah.
And that's not anything good. And that's what the West is terrible at. It needs to be able to get that flow back into place. The Western minds need to have reconnection to the greater spirits, right? And it doesn't have to be the Hebraic systems. You can do this in multiple languages.
Greek.
Right.
Celtic.
Latin.
There you go.
You know, you could use it in Sumerian. You could write it in Egyptian.
I like Egyptian.
Right?
Of
Like,
course.
you know, that would be fun, is to create this gate spell in all the different languages in order to be able to connect with each of the spirits of those pantheons, of those cultures, of those ancestors. So you pull through the genetic record of the individual medium who has the right to be able to do that, to tap into their spirits, to be able to get that wisdom from those cultures without stepping on the toes of those cultural traditions. Right. So this allows us to stand outside those gates, still work with the things inside the gate, but we don't have to fuck with the people that are in those traditions and in their fields about any kind of way, because they're going to limit the information or the capacity of that information. Whereas once the individual magus has the capacity, or the sorcerer has the capacity to learn that stuff, then they can approach those priests, then they can approach those members of the community if they have questions. Right. And so those members who are of the Jewish faith, those members who are of the Christian faith, those members who are of the pagan faiths, you can interact with them and you can figure out, okay, well, this is the spirit that I'm interacting with. I know it comes from here. What else do I need to know about it? And it becomes a deeper practice. Right. But it puts the onus on the individual to connect to the God forces that exist outside of their own body while they're harmonizing that inner divinity. And you can do it. You did it. You relaxed your mind and you became a vessel using the cannabis in order to be an empty vessel through this process. Like, that's one of the reasons why cannabis in spiritual practice is delightful.
Yes.
Is because it allows you to relax your conscious mind where you think you're in control of everything. And so you just let it slide back, let that energy flow, and you have a better connection to it.
And then see, now we go right back to the card conscious connections.
Right. Which has been following you for days.
It has. It's been showing up. It really has. It's been showing up in a few, it's almost like warning me before it happened. Like, like, okay, you didn't pay attention to this reading. Tomorrow we'll have the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, the cards, man. I tell you guys all the time, the cards, like, it has just been an experience since I started to learn them. And if the witchboard and the stones are anything like the cards that anything like the cards that I just learned, I'm gonna have me some fun.
Yeah, buddy. And it's the same, it's like when you go out into the field for paranormal investigators, right? Like, equipping paranormal investigators with these techniques so that they can take their spell work into the field. Because we paused it, we stopped it, we rewound it twice. Like, that light into the pendulum, unmistakable.
Yeah.
So there's I don't know what to say. Like, if you want to learn witchcraft, fucking, we're doing it, right?
That's what I do. I smoke pot and learn witchcraft.
And you donate your time, which is delightful. I mean, it's you because of your comfortability with this stuff, and it's it's not that it has to be perfect right away. If you set up the conditions right, it will naturally become perfect, right?
Right.
It's not that you have to study and strain and stress and all these things on miscellaneous random crap that doesn't work. It's like I spent 20 years learning this shit so that way we could do this in a series of time. Like we did it in an hour today to show people what we did yesterday.
Right. In a day, a whole day. Like that was the whole day.
Right.
From the tarot reading to, to the interviewing of the deck to the actual witchboard session to this morning with the, okay, let's see if we can contact again the spirit guide. And of course, hello, it's still there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So it becomes something that transcends what people are afraid of.
Right.
Is because if you do the spell right, you don't have to worry about it going wrong. There's so many people out there that are gatekeeping on spellcraft and witchcraft and whatever, right? It's ridiculous. And I'm not trying to do that with the Academy. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show people that it doesn't matter where you're at in your practice. It doesn't matter what tradition you come from. There is magic available for you to tap into. So as you use it, you connect to your spirits in a way that is as profound as what Mike is experiencing himself. Because I've seen it in the field. I've drawn that symbol on graves. I've had people stand on it with dowsing rods, not pendulums, where the energy itself is the only thing that's moving those rods to cross when I ask questions. It scares the living shit out of skeptics because they can't explain it.
right.
And it's like that is the part of this is it should not be a thing of fear. Don't be afraid of it. Respect it. Use it. Embrace it.
And thank you to those who joined the Divine Sorcerers channel today. You guys rock, my faithful fans.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody that's been commenting on the Facebook page. I appreciate everybody that's been on the Academy's pages. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe afternoon. And remember, if you're going to do spirit work, set it up right, guys. Set it up right so that you don't have to worry about, oh my God, there's things in the protection spells and all these things. Like if you do it right, it's safe enough to use as is.
It's a pain in the ass. I'm gonna tell you right now, because like I'm one that, yeah, I'm a stoner, right?
Well,
So like, but the attention to detail, the going over the mathematical equations and the placements of the times, and like it's tedious. It really is. But you know what? As you've seen, as we have brought you today, if everything is placed by the timing and done right, you get results. Scary results. I mean, like, I just named myself the Divine Sorcerer. I didn't plan on talking to like the divine. I mean, like that.
The names we carry are promises to the soul contract. If you were compelled to name yourself the Divine Sorcerer, there's a reason why the divinity has reached out and given you that compulsion to name yourself, to attach yourself to a name that doesn't exist yet, to give it meaning, to give it form. You get to give it that form and become an extension of these things. You wanted to learn the magic of Solomon. This is the magic of Solomon. This is the magic of Moses. This is the magic of the ancient gods.
Yes, I know.
And you're doing it.
Yes,
I mean, you of all the people in the world, and I'm thankful that I get to help introduce you to this concept.
Yep.
This is a treat for everybody involved in this. Like for the people that are watching it, for you, for the spirits, for me. Like, fuck, this is fun.
Right? This is the way it should have been.
Yes, this is the way that it should have been for thousands of years. Because if people have the connection to these things, my God, they're not going to be as assholes. They're not going to be as toxic. They're not going to be as evil and intentionally
Maybe able to replace the hate and confusion in the world with love and light.
Right. Just because the spirits are intangible doesn't mean they're wrong. because there's a perspective at a higher dimension where you can look down on the world and see the world from higher places. It's like looking down at a flat piece of map, and you
Like
can
that
move
card I
pieces.
drew.
Was that?
Like that card I drew, the 3 of discs.
Yep.
Said about looking down on the world. That's how the cards are going to work with me, through the 3 of discs. You know, through the creation of ideas.
So we've
Very
gone on.
interesting. Very interesting read. When you read the cards, and I mean, like, that was just a base read. When you take that and you go deeper into it, like, it's very profound. Like, I'm just showing you the first layer. When you dig down in layers, guys, you can get so much information that it's not even like scary information. Like, this is just the top layer. This is just skimming. Like, hey, this is witchcraft. This is just skimming. You know what I mean? That's all we're doing right now is just skimming it. But when you get deeper into it, you know, like you're saying, with the mathematical equations and the herbs in your blood, the whole getting into the residual thing, like, when you start putting all this together, it becomes an experience.
Yeah. So, and again, this is an open invite to anybody for the Saturday Zoom classes. If you've got questions, or you want to talk about your witchcraft, or you've got stuff that you want to do, and your spells aren't manifesting to the same degree that Mike's are, come chat with us. If you're casting spells and they're not working, there's problems in your structure, and we can fix that. The community lessons that I'm doing are free. Like, take advantage of that, because we're there for literally hours, going through every aspect of magical practice, going through every aspect of what whoever's working on what, like what Daniel's working on, what Mike's working on, what Phyllis is working on, what Robin is working on, what Sandy's working on. Everybody's working on things.
Yes.
There's so many, everybody has the ability to do any kind of spell that they want. It's just, why are they going to use it? What are they going to do with it when they get it done? It's like, there's so many pieces that fall into it afterwards. So starting the spell is only the beginning of the conversation.
And that's
Starting
why I
that
do what I do. That's why I record everything. Many people aren't recording what they're doing. They're just doing it and writing it down. No. Let's show the people. Let's show the world that, through magic, through the occult, through the paganism, through understanding of how everything works, you too can alter your life. You know what I mean? Like, you can get, let's just put it this way. You practice makes perfect, right? So the tools are free. Grab them and run. Any tradesman would do that, right? Like,
Sandy says, I don't know what she's doing. What about those spells that you wrote to protect your house? What about connecting to the earth? What about the alchemical things that you did to send that charge up your arm? Yeah, I know what you're doing.
she knows what she's doing. She's very intelligent. Like, yeah. I still haven't did the egg cleaning thing. I haven't got into that yet. She knows.
Right.
Like, I drop an egg in the water. I'm like, all right, what's it mean?
Yeah, egg cleansings. Egg cleansings are good. I mean, it's just so messy. There's other ways to do it, but it works.
I get tranced in the bubbles, man.
Yeah.
It's like I took mushrooms, man, and I'm looking out. Yeah.
Oh man, talk about mushrooms yesterday. That was fun.
Did you like mushrooms?
Man, I was full on channeling the Holly King energy yesterday. It was nuts, man. It was like, I finally understood, like, the combination of the divine comedy and what happens when somebody attaches a narrative that could be something that's funny, and then they attach that thing to negativity. So it becomes a tragedy instead of funny, right? That's great. I don't know what you've done now. Great. Good for you, Sandy. Best of luck to you in your journeys. Bye.
I will talk to you later, Divine Love. You two just need to. You're too cute, both of you. You're just too cute.
But it's posturing, right? Like, I don't care as long as there's development. Like, I care about the development of the soul and the individual. If it ends the conflict between the two of you, great. If it ends the sniping, oh, I have more power than this individual over here, who cares? What
See, that's
matters
one thing I have. I'm glad you brought that up. That's one thing I have to state. In this, I wouldn't call it a trade, but in this belief, in this practice, one should never have the egotistical view of I am better or stronger than anyone else. Because the simple fact is, this is open to each and every one of us. We all have the power to learn on the same level, at the same level, at our own will and speed. So, yeah, you may be better now, but like my parents used to tell me, there's always somebody on the other side of the street bigger and badder.
Yep.
And
Always.
if not, that they will come. You know what I mean? So you should never come into this practice or be in this practice with that kind of egotistical outlook, because it's just, you're ruined from the start. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, you're not
There's
gonna get
so many people, like, this is why the Academy, right? Like, I was 2017, I was asked by a left-hand path practitioner to create a place to learn about witchcraft, so that the left-hand path people have a place to learn about left-hand path things safely. But the left hand and the right hand are the same body. So you have to learn how to use energy work, and you have to have a sort of severity to it. You have to have a fire to it. If you don't, you're a snowflake, and snowflakes melt. If you can't find yourself where you're at in what you're doing, if you don't know where you are, who you are, or what you are, you have no foundation. And my goal over the last few months has been to get you a foundation, right? It's just using the experiences that I've had over 20 years of my practice. It's not saying, oh, I'm better than you are. I'm saying, this is what I've done that works. Here's how you can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
This is the power of all of this is the connection between people. It's the joy. It's that what lights you up. It's that what keeps your family safe. It's that what keeps your friends safe. But if people are out there doing spells on each other, if people are out there doing curses on each other, if they're out there casting aspersions and prayers, oh, I'm going to pray for you. It's like, no, motherfucker, please don't.
Please don't do that.
Right?
Because you get a $1 extra.
Right. That becomes offensive. And then in that case, that's when you get your teeth kicked in. If you start praying for me like, oh, Jesus, help him. No, motherfucker. Jesus.
Why would I bring him into it? Leave him out of it.
Right? Like, this is why I think it's so fun, is because the mother of the world was channeling Jesus. Right? Yes. I got to meet him as a vessel, Swami Vishwa Anand. Fantastic man. What we're doing is for the world, to elevate the individual soul beyond its toxic behavior. And if you're behaving in toxic ways, elevate. It's your responsibility. That's what the Academy is for. It is that developmental step. If you've got a problem, that's your problem to have until it's not. Magic is not the problem. It's what you people do with it. And so to help people deal with it in a way that doesn't fuck off their community, doesn't fuck off their friendships, their relationships, or what have you, that's not the point. But this whole, oh, I don't know what you're doing. I don't fucking care what you're doing. I care how you're doing it. Is it working? If it's not working, do it better so it does. Because when it does, you get manifestation like Mike. You get manifestation like Keith, like Guy, like Trevor, like everybody else in the Brotherhood. You get manifestation when it's structured in a way that works.
She gets manifestation. I've seen her spells get manifestation.
Right.
Like, I've seen it firsthand. Like,
I'm not saying that they don't.
oh yeah.
Not even a little bit. Everybody's got magic. It's just,
they just need to learn how to use it.
Right.
Basically.
And that's like, that is the problem, right? Is that the submission to an educational system, right, is an intentional submission. I choose to learn this, so I have to go through whatever it takes to learn it that way from the person I'm choosing to learn it with. All right. So this is the way I'm teaching it. And the results that are had with it are evident.
Are recorded.
That speaks for itself. Right? The emotional problems, the behavior conflicts, the can't take a joke concepts, that's outside of the bounds of education. That's outside of this is the path.
Can't we all just smoke pot and get along? Like,
I would love that. I would love that.
hippies had it right, man. Jesus was a hippie. Jesus! Yo, let me tell you, that man was a hippie. He smoked pot and frankincense and other things.
Right.
Mainly pot and hashish. I mean, that man was a hippie.
But,
A magic practicing hippie.
a magic practicing hippie
Yes, he
with
was.
a track record of astounding feats.
That's how he did miracles, because he knew magic.
Right. And this is again, it goes back to not being a dick with the practice, not being an asshole about it, not being intentionally malicious with it, not trying to posture about it. It's like magic is the rights of everybody, but it's also the most sacred thing that anybody can dedicate their life to the study of.
Well, that's what Jesus was teaching. Everybody could do magic. He even told his apostles, one day you will be greater than I. You will be able to do the same thing as I, but greater. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, just got to know who he was. Like, that's why he got crucified and stuff, because he went against the Jewish council, who didn't want him to let everybody know, hey, you can do this too.
Right. Because once you're involved in the traditions, you're bound by the oaths of those traditions. And if you exist outside of those traditions, outside of those oaths, then you're not breaking any of the taboos of those traditions. But you still have to dedicate yourself to the study and the observations of these things. You still have to dedicate yourself to the application of these things in all their forms. So that if you're channeling these energies and you make a spell of conjure and you're conjuring up things that are earth or things that are air or things that are fire, things that are water, and your emotions are off or your energy is off, that's just going to throw you out of balance further. And so this is why getting into alignment with the tarot cards, getting into that entrainment of these greater energies, using your blood, using the language of lights, using the spells of animation, using these things facilitates in an open source way where magic becomes even more accessible, and it becomes even more foundational. Because it allows for the absolute integration into everything you do, so that everything you do in the world becomes an extension of magic. If you're talking to somebody, you can change their life depending on what you talk about.
Right.
And this is one of those things as we approach the holiday season. This morning, when we were running that video, I had 4 people messaging me about the depression that they have with their families because their families are religious over the holidays. And they're deteriorating or taking away from and stressing out friends, right? The families are too religious, or they're all some kind of way. Like the parents are on it with the kids, the brothers and sisters and the cousins and everybody descending upon a household for the holiday season, and they're using religious guilt, or they're using shame, or they're using some kind of way to make these people's lives absolutely fucking miserable because they're religious and my friends aren't the same religion. There is no grace in the home. There needs to be. There needs to be a grace for differences, so that when people have the faith, when they pray, it's not, hey, I'm going to pray for you for my Jesus and what my beliefs are. So that way the unspoken application is you stop doing what you're doing instead of do what you're doing better. And my whole thing is just do what you're doing, but do it better. So you're not a toxic person. So that the interaction isn't evil. So that there's no posturing. That's great, Dan. I hope you're having a fun day out there.
Dan. See you on Facebook.
Yeah, he's on Facebook.
What's up, Dan?
Hope you're doing well, buddy.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where this stuff carries. And it's important.
Yeah.
But it doesn't extend to just one situation. It extends to a lot of situations that I'm dealing with, right? So while I have you here, it's not just between me and Sandy that I've got the issues with. It's other people that are in the same issue, right? It's like Phyllis and her kids, me and my mom. There's breakdowns there. There's breakdowns in the modern relationships. And
Shadow
stuff
work.
is magic. What?
Shadow work, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But that's the thing. There's only so much shadow work I can do alone until the other person starts doing that shadow work also. Because if their intention
I know a couple people that are doing shadow work, and it's not easy.
no, it isn't.
I finished mine. Thank God my karma and my shadow work is done for a while.
Right? It's like if there's a conflict and you can feel it, it's like, hey, let's get over it. Let's get through it.
The last year about killed me, man. I don't want to go through that again.
But now that you're in divine alignment, you won't have to.
Right.
Like now you have the tools to overcome those energies. You didn't have that a year ago. When your world fell apart, this is, it's the same principle that I used when my world fell apart. Is you lean into community, you talk about something that interests you, and you go full force with it, and you get it done, right?
Yep. For me, it was magic, paranormal, sorcery, necromancy. God, I love necromancy.
There's a post I shared on Facebook that we need to normalize as saying happier than a necromancer in a natural history museum. This is good stuff. This
It's
is
fun.
important.
I mean, it really is. It's fun. I've had a lot of fun in the last year. And I know it's just gonna get funner.
Yeah, I mean, the path of sorcery is a lifetime pursuit. It's like we can spend the next 20 years studying magic and never be good enough.
Merlin did. Merlin did. So did Gandalf.
It takes more than 20 years. We're talking lifetimes. Remembering those lifetimes.
Yeah, right. A couple lifetimes.
Right? And then we get into how do we provide that for others in a way that doesn't make us sound crazy?
I'll quote from my favorite movie. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right? I just want to pay the ferryman and go on the other. Like let's just go to the other side. Like let's just do this.
I'm
and then
sure
go back.
Anubis is in no hurry to see us.
No. People just right up deny the boat. It's like, nope, you're still here. People still need to learn the witchcraft. There's still things to learn. Like, not done teaching this shit. Not until people get it. All right. Anyway, y'all, be safe out there. Just don't be evil to your family, guys. That's what this comes down to. Don't be evil. Don't be
Don't
intentional.
do evil.
No, don't do it. Don't try to use your magic to hex people. Don't try to use your fix yourself with it.
Don't do evil. Don't be evil. Fight evil.
Right. How do you fight evil? Be more logical than the situation that causes you pain. Figure out a way around it. If you don't understand something, or you can't embrace something, or you can't attach to it in a kind of way, figure out a way you can, or you can work with it. And if you can't work with it, fuck off.
It all goes back to that 4-letter word that is so mistaken today. Love. When you learn that word, you learn it backwards. It's evolve. Evolve.
Yeah.
That's the way the world was supposed to be, but it didn't turn out that way.
No, it didn't. People kept things that should not have been kept. People have corrupted things that ought not to have been corrupted. And if the individual can learn to release themselves, like Mike has, relax themselves to connect to these things, then they can get any insight that they want. And it doesn't matter what goes on next. And that's where the joy is. That's where the adventure is. It's the path that's unwritten.
Exactly. You write it. It's your path.
You know?
And they're there to guide you if you just listen.
So stay safe, everybody. Don't be evil on your family through this holiday season. Chat with
Happy
you all.
holidays.
Happy holidays, y'all.